how to identify what is wrong with your credit. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode at Novarise Invest, your channel for financial education. So today we're going to talk about credit. We have always talked about the importance about knowing your credit. And with this, I'm not just simply talking about knowing your credit score. I'm talking about really getting to know your credit. So in today's episode, I'm going to walk through the very specifics of what makes up your credit. So by the end of this episode, you'll be able to know exactly what is wrong with your credit and how to fix those mistakes. If you want access to more content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. So first things first, before going into the nitty-gritty, I want to make a clarification for you, okay? I'm sure at some point you have heard about don't check your credit, right? Because every time you check your credit, your score, it's gonna get hurt. Bad, no good. Well, let me tell you that whatever is it that you heard or whatever is it that people said about you checking your credit, hurting your credit, that is a rumor. It's incorrect. It's a lie. You can check your credit as often as you like, okay? And the best part, you can do it for free. Now, what really hurts your credit? Well, when someone else checks it. So let's say, for example, if a lender comes in and they pull your credit, or I don't know, you're trying to get a car loan and then also a lender pulls it, or maybe you're trying to get a lease and then your landlord says, well, I have to pull your credit. So any sort of application that involves a credit pull done by a third party, done by someone else other than yourself, that's when your credit goes down. That's when it's hurt negatively. But as long as you're checking your credit, you don't have to worry because you have every right to check it. Now, the $1 million question, how do you check your credit? Well, there are multiple ways to do that. One is through the credit bureaus. And by bureaus, I'm talking about Equifax, we talk about Experian, or TransUnion. And then there's another way to check it with a very popular application called Credit Karma. Now, these over here use the FICO Score, and Credit Karma over here uses the Vantage Score, okay? So this episode, it's going to be about the FICO Score, not about the Vantage Score. Now, it is time to go into the nitty-gritty. So we have a sample report right here from Experian, and this was provided by our good friend Chepito Gonzalez, a very popular character at Novarise, and this is his Experian report. So let's go ahead and run through this report so you can understand what each line means for you and what you can do about that information. Now, for those who are curious, you can have access to a report like this if you create an Experian account. For those who are interested, there's an episode that I created a couple of months ago where I actually show you step by step how you can actually create an account in Experian and get access to a free report, and you can access this once a year. Okay, so now back to this particular report right here. Let's just go ahead and get started. And what the first thing that you're going to see is that the FICO score that they're utilizing in this equation is the FICO 8. So make sure you take a note of that. And then, of course, so we have Chepito's breakdown of the FICO score. And his FICO is at 727, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's good, right? It's not excellent, but it's good. It will get you a good rate on a mortgage. Then on the left side here, I need you to pay attention because it will give you the summary. So Chepito has a total of 17 accounts, so you need to check those as well for you. There's a total of 2 accounts that were late on his profile, and then 18 that were closed. So we want to check into that. And now this is the part where I want you to pay attention to. So his oldest account is 15 years and 5 months old. But then when you lump everything together and you include all of your credit cards together, in this case, all of Chepito's cards together, we're talking about an average of 6 years. Not bad. It can improve, right? And now over here, we're going to talk about the credit usage. This has created a lot of confusion. Everybody keeps talking about the 30%. For those who are actually interested about what am I referencing to regarding the whole 30%, here's a video that you can actually check out so you can get that doubt out of the equation, but do it after we're done with this video. In the meantime, stay on this report right here because it's really important. So the overall credit usage of Chapito is 34%. His total credit limit is $102,900. And so far, he has used $34,749. Could he use some improvement? Yeah, it could be brought down to 30% depending on what you're looking for. But it doesn't have to be if you're not looking to get any financing, right? Now, on the right side, there's his debt summary. So we're talking about the total credit card line that he has. That's $35,000 if we were to round it up. And there's a loan debt of $102,507. Hey, that could be a mortgage. That could be a car loan. Who knows? And the good news is that there's nothing in collection. Okay, he has nothing that is falling under collection. And if you happen to have something that it's on this side of the equation under collection, make sure you call your lender to sort that out. Make sure you figure that out, you fix it, because you definitely do not want that on your record. Okay. Now, moving along, we're going to talk about page 2. So this is where your personal information is going to be located. So this is something that you have to corroborate. You have to make sure it has been vetted, that it is accurate, because that's how identities get messed up, and that's how your social security winds up being connected to someone else's name. So you have to make sure that whatever you see here is accurate. So our customer right here is Chepito Gonzalez. He goes by Gonzalez Chepitos. I mean, that's, one way to go about it. It's turned around. Chepito M. Gonzalez, maybe that's his middle name over here. Now we have Chepito Gonzalez Becerra, maybe that's his second last name. Chepito G. Becerra, okay, I don't know. Maybe that's something that he needs to look into. Maybe people are thinking that Gonzalez is his middle name. Maybe he might want to have that sorted out. Or maybe that M needs to be sorted out. I don't know. But this is something that you need to look into to make sure that your information is being accurate. And whatever is not accurate, you have to call, in this case, you have to call the credit bureau, in this case, is Experian, to let them know that they need to update that information. Then on this side, there are the addresses that he has lived in before. His current address is 123 Main Street in La La Land, but then his prior addresses involve 456 Main Street and 789 Main Street. So he checked those are accurate. And then on the right side are his employer. Is that clear? Is that correct? Is that accurate? Yes, no, call, okay? As you're going down, now you're gonna get access to the actual number of accounts. So you're gonna get one by one every single account, and it's gonna show you the history. So let's say, for example, I want to stop by one of his account in Bank of America. So you verify, okay, this is accurate. This is my account. This is the number. You verify that with your credit card number. You check that the date that was open is accurate. And then most importantly, you check that, hey, the amount that you're due or whatever limit is also accurate. You want to make sure you check that out. Is the balance accurate? Do you still owe money on it? Is it zero? Hey, maybe you need to call them. And then this part right here under payment history is extremely important because your payment history makes up a big chunk of your credit score, okay? And you can see that in Chepito's case, it is beautiful, gorgeous. Everything is on time. He has, as you can see here, an exceptional payment history, and that's what you want to geared towards. Perhaps you don't have an exceptional yet, but you will because that's what you want to get. And how do you get an exceptional payment history? By always paying on time, as you can see here. Lots and lots of green dots, right? And then on the areas where you see a dash over here, that's just simply because the data is unavailable. So great stuff. Let's assume you spotted something that you're checking your report and there's something that's completely off. It shows that you didn't make a payment on time, yada, yada. Now you have to contact them and prove them evidence. So a way to contact the lender is by either sending them a mail over here or just by calling them directly to their phone number. So every single account that you have, as you can see, will provide you with the contact information, a phone number, and that's with every single account. Now, let's just go down and take a look at how a mortgage will look on your account. There you go. So we have a mortgage here. So we have first house mortgage, first house, this is the account. Make sure this is a mortgage when it was opened, and then the balance is left. How much have you paid off so far? What was the loan original amount? Make sure that's accurate as well. And the term of it. But then look at this. So beautiful. So many years. And look at all the timely online payments. This is what you want to gear towards. This is what you want to show. It has to be accurate. And you want to make sure you always have exceptional payment history, right? Now, let's just check out one more, and I want to take you to an auto loan. Here we go. So we have JP Auto Finance, JPMC Auto Finance. There's the account number right here, nicely looking. Then you get the auto loan, the date that it was open. Then you check over here. Is that really the balance that you still owe? When was it last updated? This is the original amount. And then look at the payment history. It seems like it's there's some data that's missing over here. But hey, I'd rather have either greens or data unavailable. That's something in red telling me that I paid late. Okay, so this is how it looks. Now let's just scroll down and take a closer look to the closed accounts, right? So these are accounts that Chepito used to have, and just because they're closed doesn't mean you don't get to pay attention to them. You still need to validate them because, hey, you want to make sure that they are your accounts, right? And you need to make sure that the information that is reflected in there, it's also accurate because it stays on your report for 7 years. So it will haunt you for 7 years if something is bad on it, right? So let's say, for example, we have this account here. This is an Amex account, and when you zoom in, you will see immediately that Chepito has had 3 late payments in this account, right? So he checks the account number. It is a credit card. This is the date that it was open. It was past due for 90 days. Uh-oh, that's not good. So let's see, when did that happen? So it seems that he forgot to pay in 30 days. And then in December over here, he forgot to pay in 60 days. But then in January, he had the longest. That's a 90-day delay on the payment. That is not good. Perhaps this is inaccurate and Chepito needs to call. Same thing with you. If you see something that jumps out of your eyes and it doesn't look right, you need to call them and correct them. And of course, show them evidence that, hey, I did pay it on time. But if it's here, it's not the end of the world. It won't look good. You can provide an explanation as to what happened. Hey, maybe a family emergency happened around here. Or maybe over here, he thought that an automated payment was set up, but it turns out that it wasn't set up and he missed payments for, 3 months in a row because he thought that everything was being paid automatically. I don't know, right? But the beauty about this is that after 7 years, this will disappear. So at the time of this episode recording, we're towards the end of 2021. So that means that by January, over here, 2022, Chepito could say goodbye to this record because by January 2022, this will no longer be in his record because he already fulfilled the 7-year time frame. Okay? Now, if you were reviewing this and you want to make sure, hey, is this accurate? Is this not accurate? Well, make sure you look into it. And if the information is inaccurate, make sure you contact the lender right here or right here. Every single lender, every single account that you have in your credit profile will give you a contact information so that you can contact the lender and, work things out. And let's continue. Now, let's just check out another account. Hey, well, there's a closed account here, but guess what? He had an exceptional payment history. And look at this. Look at all of these years with payment history. But guess what happened? He closed the account. I guess Chepito knows better now. He made a mistake of closing the account back then, but look at all the years of credit history that he let go. What would have happened to his credit record if all of these timely payments and all of these years happen to be registered in his credit history? So you're watching this episode so you can learn. So never close a credit card. And if you want to know why, if you want to know the best way to take care of a credit card that you don't want in your queue or in your portfolio, but you don't want to close it because you don't want to hurt your credit, here's a video over here that you can certainly check out that's going to help you navigate through the whole talk of closing a credit card or not. And then let's just move along. Let's just check out another closed account just to give you a better sense. But I want to look for a car loan over here. And there you go. So we have his car loan also closed. But look, he has Megano car loans over here. The account number, secure loan. This is how it looks. Pay satisfactorily. The balance was updated, yada yada. And then look at this. Once again, beautiful. All green. All payments on time. So I guess by now you kind of get the trend, right? Always make your payments on time. And if you find anything that is inaccurate, always check out the contact information so that you can sort things out with the lender. Now, let's continue to go along. And there's a section in particular that I also want you to pay close attention to. So one of them is the inquiries, right? Make sure that the inquiries that appear in your credit are accurate, because remember, every time someone else checks your credit, your score goes down. So make sure that this inquiry over here from Bank of America is legit, the one from Capital One is legit, and the other one from Capital One is legit. If it's legit, okay, leave it there. But if it's not legit, hey, contact the lender through this number and make sure they provide you some type of documentation so that you can use that and communicate with Experian in this case and have the inquiries removed from your profile, because it is hurting your credit in a negative way, right? Now, another section I want you to pay attention to, and that is public records. Make sure that whatever information appear on public records is accurate. Typically, what you will find under the public records section, it's anything related to bankruptcy. If you never had a bankruptcy, but you have it here in your file, make sure you take care of it, because, hey, having a bankruptcy will make your life very difficult. Not the end of the world for sure, but it will make your life very difficult. So if the bankruptcy is inaccurate, make sure you contact Experian to have that removed. So always check your public records. Now, this is the fun part. This is the part what I like to learn about. But before I continue, if you're enjoying this episode, make sure you hit the like button right here below so you can help this episode rank and help others like you who are looking for information of this kind. Now, how many FICO scores are out there? There's way too many. But before we jump into that, let's just try to understand this very first one, which is the FICO Score A, which is the one that happens to be in the report that we are looking at. So this is the breakdown of what makes a credit good. If your score is somewhere between 670 and 739, that means your score is good. So it's near or highly above the average of US consumer, and most lenders consider this a good score, which means you will get a good competitive rate in your mortgage and also in your credit card. Can it be very good and exceptional? Absolutely. But if you're here, hey, give yourself a pat on the shoulder. You've done a great job so far. Now, let's try to understand what it's helping, because most people tend to skip this, but don't do that, because whatever is in this summary is telling you exactly what you need to know to either improve your credit or to understand what's actually hurting it. So what's really helping you? So you got bills paid on time. That's a good stuff, right? And your most recent missed payment happened 6 years and 6 months ago, which means it's getting close to the 7-year mark. And once it gets to that 7-year mark, hey, it won't hurt your credit anymore. And let's just try to understand the FICO High Achiever. So it says here that about 98% of FICO High Achiever have no missed payments at all. But those who do, the missed payment happened nearly 4 years ago on average. So hey, this is not so bad. The last one was 6 years ago. Now it's saying, hey, the last missed payment is 4 years ago. So you're definitely doing better than average, right? And now, how many accounts you paid on time? Obviously, Chapito has a sufficient number of accounts that are paid on time. The number of accounts are 17. FICO High Achievers have an average of 6 accounts. Woohoo, this is great. Way to go, Chapito. So he's definitely doing much better than average. So there you go. For those who have been hesitant about opening another credit card or trying to keep the number of credit cards to the minimum, now you see that FICO High Achievers have an average of 6 accounts, right? And Chapito has 17. So he's definitely doing way better than average. And then over here, we have the recent car usage and stuff like that. He has a nice mix. So he has a mix of credit card, installment loans, and also mortgages. So that combination also makes up part of your credit score. So good job, Chapito, right? Now, the ugly part, what nobody wants to hear, what's hurting it. Okay, so Chapito has had serious delinquency. He's had account past 90 days due. So make sure you read all of these over here to tell you what is wrong. So see, virtually no FICO High Achievers have 60-day late payments or were listed on the credit report. What are you going to do? We all make mistakes, right? But even with the mistake, Chapito seems to be doing pretty good. High credit usage, like I said, at 34%. Could it use some improvement? Yeah, but it all depends. Are you looking to get financing? If you do, try to keep it on the 30. But if not, hey, you can probably get away with it. And if you happen to be in the pool of viewer where you have more than 34% rent and you're working towards reducing your debt, here's an episode over here that you can also check out that is going to help you reduce your debt in a way that is very efficient. Okay? Now, so back to this episode. For FICO high achievers, the average ratio of revolving account balances to the credit is less than 7%. I don't know. I mean, it's just facts, but hey, it doesn't mean you don't get to use your credit, but it's there for you to see what you want to implement or what you don't want to implement. Same thing with loan balances. All of this information is right here. But like I said, there's more than one FICO score. So in this case, we took a look at the FICO 8, but if you explore more, down here in this report, you're going to find another FICO score, and that's the FICO Auto Score 2. You see, that's why every time you go to a lender, it is important for you to check with them which scoring system are you using, because depending on the scoring system that they're using, you will know which one to tackle. That's why sometimes you see yourself having a 750 credit score, and then when you go to a lender, they tell you that you have a 716, just like you're seeing here on the screen, right? So over here on the FICO A, he had a score of 727, but then when you go down here and you're talking about a different type of scoring system, now we're looking at a 716. So very important that you check that out. Over here, it has a description of what is this FICO score being used for, and as you can see, it's utilized for auto lending. And of course, down here is going to tell you what's hurting, what's helping, yada yada. Make sure you check that out as well. Then we have another scoring system called the Auto Score 8. And this is looking much better for Chipito over here, right? And then over here on the right, it tells you, it gives you an explanation, what is this used for? Also used for auto lending, right? And then as we keep scrolling down, now we see a different FICO score, and this is the FICO Score 3. But now, hey, it's lower. Why? I don't know. Let's try to understand this. So what is this being used for? It is a previous FICO score utilized primarily in credit card lending. Oh, previous. Maybe they're not using that anymore. Who knows? But hey, it doesn't hurt to learn more about it, right? So you can read about it over here. And now we're looking at the Bankcard Score A. Hey, doing much better over here, 731. What is this used for? Credit card lending, okay? And that is how you continue to go down in the report and maximize this information and be able to spot literally everything that is not making sense in your report so you can fix it. Now, make sure that when you're still here, you check out this episode on the side that's going to help you complement everything you just learned today. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.